So welcome everyone in the chat. Welcome back to game number 2 between SirLaurenceNZ and TerrorBite for this Division B Group 2 Round 2 matchup for the Australian Open. Now, of course, in the previous game, if you were, if you were in the previous game with me, then you know that Lawrence did manage to take the victory in the first or the previous match. If you aren't with me and you're just joining now, well, you now know that Lawrence took the first game in this best of 5 series. That, of course, means that TerrorBite has opted to choose islands, or is it team islands? Let's have a quick scan around. No, it looks like islands. I think it's islands. I can obviously just check here as well. It is islands. So Terra has gone ahead and chosen islands for his home map of choice. Now, of course, it is Hidden Civilization picks, and we'll get to that in just a moment's time. But let's introduce the man in the lead from New Zealand up to the north, or the northern island. Jesus, octagonal. Up to the northern island here, playing in the red as the Vikings, is none other than Sir Lawrence NZ. And he has chosen, as I say, the Vikings for this islands matchup. Makes a lot of sense, but we'll come to that in just a moment's time. Down to the southern island here, playing in the blue, is TerrorBite himself, and he has also chosen the Vikings here. Now, of course, the map is islands, meaning that the Vikings pick, especially in AOC, makes a hell of a lot of sense because they are definitely the strongest water civilization. Let's have a quick look at the map. Let's have a quick look at the maps here from both of these players. Well, what can we see from Terra? He has one of his golds here sandwiched in between two wood lines. Kind of unfortunate for him. He's not going to get full saturation on this, and I can almost imagine that Octagonal is going to be calling for an admin re in the chat. A second gold out here to the left-hand side. Unfortunately for him, this is definitely going to be harassable from the waterline. On this side of his island here, and this gold here potentially able to be hit from this area of the water, even this area here as well. And his stones, well, he's got his stones out here to the right hand side of this TC, and that is actually something I wanted to point out to do with Terra's map. His island is so fucking skinny, it is ridiculous. You are definitely allowed to restart. There are restarts before 4 minutes and you get one restart each in the group stages. But Terra's map is so skinny, and unfortunately for him, all of his resources here are actually in this narrow sort of channel, this choke point here as well. Meaning that it's going to be very likely that he will be getting his opponent, his resources hit from the waterline. Super pro here though, luring in his boar with his scout. Oh man, who needs a re when you can do shit like that? Unfortunately, his second boar is quite far away and behind another woodline as well. Well, if I win anyway, doesn't matter, but if I lose, exactly, it's going to come down to it. Then you're going to start crying and having a wee sulk. But let's have a look at Lawrence's map and see if his one is much better. Well, he's got one of his goals down here to the south, and he does. I feel like that's going to be that's going to be safe, especially if he plonks a TC or a mining camp on this side of his gold. Out here toward the right hand side, he also has a gold, so he should be fine to be able to take those resources in relative safety. Now back here he does have a stone, definitely hittable, definitely harassable from the waterline, and the same can be said for this stone out here as well. Both players going ahead and chucking up their docks on the front of their base. Lawrence's dock is fantastic. He has a lot of deep sea fish within just a stone's throw, just a little bit away from his dock, so he's chosen a really nice location. And the same can be said for Terra here as well. He has access to, I think, 3 deep sea fish and a cute wee triangle here just at the front of his dock. Look back at you, don't miss it. Okay, I'm looking back. Are you going to lose your scout, or is the boar just going to run back? If you lose your scout, this could be unfortunate, but no, you're managing to get the boar back. I assume this is what you wanted me to look at. Are you going to lose it around the tree again? No, okay. I mean, it's going to be a bad boar lure, but you still managed to get the boar in, so it's not too bad, which is okay. Your second ball you missed. It's fine. That's okay. Anyway, both players here having got out their first fishing ships, and that reminds me as well. I'll quickly chuck on this wee setting here. Save and close. Both players having got out their fishing ships. Of course, Lawrence's one was idle, but it's no longer idle. I like this from Lawrence. So bringing in some shorefish with his villager, meaning that he will be able to maximize all the efficiency of his villagers as much as he can. Now, of course, the Vikings, again, a fantastic water civilization. Obviously, the cheaper boats, cheaper docks, all just all just adding into their favour. Making them able to get out a decent number of galleys in a very, very good amount of time. 2 fishing ships, however, have been made for Lawrence as opposed to the 1 from Terra, so he is going to have a small eco bonus or a small eco lead going up into the feudal age. And of course, when you're going for a Grush build, it's all about that efficiency, folks. It's all about having a crisp, nice, clean Dark Age build. And Lawrence pushing in a couple of deer here. He doesn't need to push in any more than 2 deer. I'm not sure how many he's pushed in. Looks like he's gone for 1. But Terra is going up. Is he going to be clicking up? Because he's gone for Loom. He's getting Loom right now. Is he going to be able to click up off of all of these sheep? Well, he's force dropped off. He's only got 19 food left. Can he do it? Force drop. Go, go, go. Force drop and click your way up, son. You got 8 food left. Come on, force drop. Force drop, force drop. There we go, and he's up. And up goes Terra to the feudal age, heading up on 22 villages with only 1 fishing ship, which is, well, okay, now 3 fishing. I was looking at the wrong person. Wait, hang on. Am I? What the hell? 3 fishing ships. Apparently you've got 0 fishing ships. So my spectator dashboard's bugged, which is unfortunate. He's gone ahead and he does have 3 fishing ships. Or are these idle now? These idle fishing ships? Oh, okay, so they're idle fishing ships. He does have 3 fishing ships, but they're all idle. And he's throwing up his second dock as well on the front. Lawrence now clicking up to the feudal age, also heading up on 22 villages. Actually, does it? Oh my god, something's gone wrong with the dashboard here. But both players up to the feudal age. Lawrence on 4 fishing ships, Terra on 3, and Terra going ahead and about to throw up his third dock out here on the front as well. Now, of course, as the Vikings, it is not... it is quite common to see a 4-dock Grush. Obviously, again, the cheaper docks, cheaper warships, and just fantastic, fantastic economy is going to be fantastic in terms of getting galleys out. And I love to see galley micro, and I'm expecting big things here from Terra since this was, of course, his home map. So it should be interesting to see how well he does perform. He has 3 docks up. Lawrence is heading out a bit late to build his second dock, so it looks like Terra's water build here just a little bit better, just a little bit cleaner than his opponents, and of course that makes a lot of sense. Since this is his home map, even as he says Rusty, he's up to the feudal age first. He's got his 3 docks up, and let's see, can he create galleys straight away? Well, he's creating galleys out of one of those bad boys as well, and let's have a look to see. Well, he's got quite a few villages out here on the gold. Potentially too many villages on gold, especially for a 3-dock Viking Grush. And he is missing double bid axe. He doesn't have any food underneath the town centre, whereas Lawrence, having pushed in a couple of deer, does at least still have, you know, a rotting deer, a rotting sheep, and a whole sheep left as well. Now Lawrence with 3 docks, grabbing double bid axe for himself. Let's go over to his point of view. And we can see that galleys are starting to stream out across the, or will start to stream out across the map for him very soon as well. Another thing that's worth mentioning is that the Grush distance between these two is very, very little. So I guess in that case, the defender's advantage that normally comes into play quite, that comes into play quite often when it comes to Grushes, maybe not going to be as big a factor here for these players. But anyway, 3 galleys out now for Lawrence. Still only 3 fishing ships for Terra, unfortunately, as opposed to the standard 4 that we see here. So of course Lawrence is going to have a little bit of an economy advantage, a bit of a food income boost over his opponent because of that. Now, does Lawrence know where the docks are? Well, no, he doesn't quite know where his opponent's docks are yet. And of course, he doesn't know whether Terra's gone for a front dock, whether he's gone for back docks or anything like that. But of course, Terra having gone up to the feudal age faster than Lawrence, Lawrence could potentially assume that he is going to be going aggressive with his docks. Terra, on the other hand, still also not able to find his opponent's docks, doesn't know where Lawrence has decided to place his down, keeping a few galleys back at home just to keep himself nice and safe. And it's very timid, it's very apprehensive so far. I was expecting a lot of fireworks, I was expecting some, here we go, this is what we wanted. Hey, this is what we wanted to see. 2 galleys against 3 out here, and now both players know exactly where the other one is, as Lawrence still decides to do a bit of an excursion, do a bit of a circuit, a bit of a loop around his opponent's island. And of course that could be super strong if he just plonks a galley here, gets fletching and starts picking these villages down on the berries here from Terra. But in moves Lawrence. This is not a fight he should be taking. 5 galleys against 4. Of course, Terra does take a few unnecessary hits on that 1 galley at the front. Both players realizing and both players getting the heck out of there as well. I expect to see a 4th dock coming up very, very soon for both of these guys. Lawrence, of course, is sending a lot of villagers over to wood. And sort of negating the fact that he has a sheep underneath the town centre that he could be taking. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that one plays out. 9 military to 8 for the time being. Bad patrol here from Lawrence, losing a galley for absolutely nothing. and Terra taking a really nice advantage in that fight. 9 galleys apiece. Fletching coming in for Lawrence now as well. I suppose another thing we do have to point out is that Lawrence's first dock was a little bit further north, so he is going to have a bit more of a larger reinforced distance as well. So, but like I say, Fletching coming in for Lawrence here as well. Of course, he has had his food income boosted. Oh, there's his fourth dock. He has had his food income boosted just a little bit by the fact that he has that extra fishing ship out over his opponent, meaning the Fletching upgrade just a little bit easier to get in for him for the time being. Has he moved out to berries? No, he hasn't. He's still sending a crap ton of villagers over to wood, and we can see he's starting to float quite a bit of that wood as well. A bit sloppy out here on the front, losing a galley. Oh, taking some HP, so taking some unnecessary damage on those galleys at the front, and Lawrence instead of fighting the galleys here from Terra, just trying to go for the fishing ship snipes, and he's managed to get one of them down, and now decides that, hey, I should probably start taking the fight. I've got Fletching, my opponent doesn't. We saw that Terra only just throwing up his blacksmith down here toward the shoreline as well. Fletching. No, not Fletching. But now 4 fishing ships to 2, both of which are idle for Terra at the moment. And Lawrence looking like he's in a pretty gosh darn good spot for the time being as well. TerrorBite just moving his galleys out to the left, and if he just moves straight across here and picks off the fishing ships, it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. Let's go over to his point of view and see. We can see if he's going to spot them. He sees the fishing ships now, and he should be paying attention here and taking them down from Sir Lawrence. Of course, Lawrence now moving into the wood line here with his galleys from Terra and managing to take down a villager or 2 there as well. Fletching now coming in for Terra, so he will be in a better position to be able to start pushing away and taking down these galleys. Nice fishing ship pick there from Lawrence, though. Super strong. Unfortunately, the same is happening back in his docks too. No. Okay, there we go. Terra was going to be merciful, but now he thinks, you know what, fuck you, I'm going to take down your fishing ships now as well. So it's going to be 0 fishing ships to 0 fishing ships for both of these players. Lawrence trying. Oh, actually, is he gonna save this one fishing ship? It looks like he might save the one fishing ship as he brings his galleys back from his opponent's docks to start taking down the warships of Terra here as well. 19 militaries and 19, so it's all neck and neck. 38 villages to 33, however, as well. Sorry, I'm dealing with my best map. To be fair, you're doing a pretty gosh darn good job. Of course, anywhere that you take wood within a decent distance away from your town centre would have been quite easily harassable, which is a bit unfortunate for you. But of course, Lawrence here taking... this looks like it's taking a better fight here for Lawrence. He is fighting outside a few more of his docks. He does... I mean, they've both got Fletching for the time being, but Lawrence looks like he will be taking this fight quite decisively. He still, of course, does have 3 galleys down here doing absolutely nothing, but it's 15 military to 10 for the time being, and of course it looks like Lawrence is going to start taking an advantage here. A few galleys up to the north of Terra, unfortunately for him, not participating in the fight, but the same can be said as well for the galleys down here for Lawrence. And it looks like with this fight here, the galleys are now having to be queued up inside of the docks, having to be garrisoned inside of the docks there from Terra. And we have to remember that he's only now just throwing up his 4th dock, whereas Lawrence has been going hard on 5 docks for quite some time. So it's no surprise really that he is double the military in favor, or the military is double in favor of himself. But Lawrence, like I said, he is managing to take a decent advantage here. This dock here is going to be going down very soon as well. A 5th dock being thrown up on the right hand side pardon me, of Terra's Island. But is it too little too late? Well, the military number's 18 to 9. And of course Lawrence, imagine if Lawrence brought some galleys around here. Imagine the eco damage that he could do to his opponent. That would be super devastating for Terra. Horse collar coming in for Lawrence now as well. In the next stage, obviously, both of these guys are going to be wanting to get up to the castle age. Lawrence still leaving the sheep completely uneaten, instead sitting on about 1k wood, managing to take down one of the docks here from Terra, who looks like he wants to continue to redock out here to the right-hand side of his island. Now, is Lawrence anticipating that his opponent could be going for a landing? Well, we'll have to wait and see. He's not throwing up any defensive or any barracks and preemptive as a preemptive move to anything that could be happening like that. But for the time being, he is focusing his attention out on the front of Terra's Island and managing to take down these docks here, or his initial docks as well. Terra rebuilding his docks down here to the right hand side, as we already anticipated and already thought he would be doing. But unfortunately for him, he is still quite significantly behind in terms of military numbers as well. Sorry, Lawrence, take my energy. Goodness me. But yeah, 25 military to 13 at the moment, and villagers also getting picked off on this wood line from Terra. Nothing is really going in his favor. The map was not in his favor. The military is not in his favor. This is in his favor though. Taking down these fishing ships that Lawrence looks like he's greedily trying to add in now as well. And of course, I mean Lawrence for the time being does have water, but there are docks coming up here on the right hand side, and I think that's what Lawrence is really being let down here. He needs to keep scouting around his island. He needs to realize that not Fletch, sorry, that Terra, he chose islands for his home map for a reason. He recognizes the importance of water, so he's probably not going to give up that easily at all. That's why. That's why you lost, because you had galleys at the top. Potentially, yeah, but of course Lawrence did also have some galleys that weren't participating in the fight down here as well. But Lawrence throwing up a market now. Looks like he's wanting to buy himself. He could buy himself up to the castle age now as well. He's got the market, he's got the blacksmith, he's got 1k wood, so he should be in a good position to be able to click up to the castle age in only a moment's time. More docks coming up here to the right hand side of the base of the island here for Terra as well, and he is actually up on 6 docks as opposed to Lawrence's 5 if I'm not mistaken. So maybe this is the comeback. Maybe this is exactly what Terra needs. Maybe he can push back. Oh no, okay, okay, that dock's gone. So now it's 5 docks apiece for both players, and Lawrence looking like he will be clicking up to the castle age very soon. Terra, unfortunately, a bit of an unbalanced economy, but the same can be said for both of these players, and he is no way near the castle age for the time being. No market having been thrown down just yet either. The galleys down here, I don't think we're actually taking any wood villages. They were just attacking these houses, but I understand where you're coming from. But Lawrence buying his way up to the castle age now as well. I can only imagine if we go back to his point of view. No, he's not. What? There, oh, yes, he is, actually. There we go. Lawrence up to the castle age now as well, having added in a good number more fishing ships. Unfortunately, losing a few galleys needlessly out here to the front of his base, and a few more fishing ships about to get picked off from Terra as well. And this is the thing. Lawrence has sort of sat back on his heels. He's sort of been a bit complacent, in my opinion, and he hasn't really gone ahead and scouted the majority or the rest of his opponent's island. And we can see Terra continually adding more docks out here to the right-hand side. That will be 5 docks. No, 6 docks up for Terra, although he is going to lose this one out here to the front. And Lawrence, surely he recognizes that, hey, Terras must have some docks somewhere. Maybe I should go for a little bit of a scout. Maybe I should go for a little bit of a look around to see what I can find. Is he continuing to add in fishing ships? No, he's still creating galleys, which in my opinion is the right move. Obviously, there are still some warships here from Terra buzzing around, and he's still redocking. He is just like an AI, just continually redocking further and further around his island. And Lawrence, a little bit sloppy, still not having cleaned up these galleys that are taking down his fishing ships either. But scale biding armor coming in for Lawrence now, with a stable being thrown up on the front. So it looks like he's just wanting to transport some knights across to his opponent's island and end this game as soon as he can. But this is a nice move. This is a really, really nice flank maneuver here from Lawrence, bringing in his 2 sets of galleys from 2 different directions. And unfortunately for Terra, he's going to have to get the heck out of there, because that is not a fight that he is going to be able to take. 27 military to 20. Potentially, maybe he could take it. A good chunk of Lawrence's military is to the back of his base. And of course, the defender's advantage here would be acting quite heavily in favor of Terra. Unfortunately, in about 6 seconds time, he's going to find himself very, very heavily out-teched once the War Galley and Bodkin Arrow upgrades come in for Sir Lawrence. Meaning that these, these fights here are going to go very, very heavily in favor of Sir Lawrence. War Galley now kicking in for him as well. He's got the resources to do Bodkin Arrow, so I can only anticipate that that will be coming in very soon. There it is, Bodkin Arrow also coming in for him, and no knights having been queued up as of yet. Managing to clean up the galleys out here to the left-hand side of Terra's base, but this is a little bit sloppy again from Lawrence. He shouldn't be taking this fight until he's got the upgrades. Taking unnecessary losses, unnecessary damage, but I suppose in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to be too game deciding, as he will have the upgrades over his opponent very, very soon. Now, is he creating any knights? Well, no. He's got the transport ship out, so he's ready and rearing to go. But here we go, the War Galley upgrade having been researched now as well, and Terra, just like that, having to retreat his war galleys away from the front lines, fall back to his docks, and try and defend himself as he gets up to the castle age. Is he anywhere near? Well, unfortunately, no. He's still nowhere near the castle age. He's throwing up a preemptive barracks, potentially expecting that Lawrence will be landing some sort of funny business, getting some knights over onto his base. But, oh, there we go. He does have a market. Now he's going to be able to potentially buy himself up to the castle age. He's very close. One more little bit, and there we go. Terra's up to the castle age now as well. So maybe, just maybe, there's a glimmer of hope here for Terra, but it is looking pretty dicey. This is a decent number of war galleys here from Sir Lawrence, and has he landed? No, he hasn't. He's still just parking a war galley out here on the gold, on the woodline here from Terra, and just like that, the skinniness, the narrowness of Terra's island really starting to bite him in the ass here, as well as Lawrence just parks his galleys around every economic waypoint of Terra's economy. Lawrence finally queuing up those knights, so he's got the +1 armor on them as well, and just landing knights across right now I think would spell GG for Terra. I mean, he's not looking in a fantastic position. There's still hope, there is still hope. He would just have to continue to redock down here to the right hand side. He's getting an archery range up down here as well, potentially anticipating that Lawrence will try some sort of a funny business as well. Your market skills are 2k plus. I definitely agree. Absolutely. There is no question about it. But unfortunately for Terra, his docks at the front are being taken down. The knights have now been landed across from Sir Lawrence, and now Terra is going to have to worry about the fact that A, his economy can be hit from the shoreline, and B, he's got knights running around inside of his economy. And recognizing the situation, recognizing that there is no way that Terra can pull himself back into this game, he calls GG and shakes his opponent. Oh, he was trying to redock down here to the south of his base. But well played, very well played from Lawrence. Really well played in the beginning as well from Terra. Unfortunately for him, I think maybe the 4 docks against 3 really just kind of snowballed. Really kind of snowballed an advantage there for Lawrence. But again, well played to both players. And as always, we'll come out of this, we'll switch the scene back over, and stick around, guys, because I'll be seeing you very, very soon for game number 3.